If you don't like the color pink, you are probably not going to like this video. He also low-key seems to be a little bit of a mess emotionally. Wait, where do we start out? What are you trying to say right now? It's one of those moments where you just want to like reach into the story and be like, girl. Hello everyone and welcome back. I am back with you today for the start of another themed reading vlog. You all really enjoyed my Winx Club reading vlog and it made me so happy because I was so excited to post that video. I have so many other themed reading vlog ideas. I thought, why not keep the ball rolling and do another one, because today is the start of a new Barbie themed reading vlog. Specifically the OG Barbie movies. So the three that I picked for this video are Barbie, Princess and the Pauper, Barbie 12 Dancing Princesses, and Barbie in a Fashion Fairy Tale. I am so excited. If you have been watching my channel for any amount of time, you might can tell that I am definitely a pink Barbie girl. Everything in my life is pink, basically. I just love Barbie. I love the color pink, and I think this is going to be the most perfect reading vlog for this channel, so that's what we're doing. And of course, I have 3 books picked out for us. The way I picked out these books was obviously they had to be pink covers, and then I needed them to tie in with the movie in some way. So let me show you what I picked out. The first one I picked out was Hold Me by Anna Salvas. There is literally not a more Barbie book than this one. It is literally the most girly pink book I have literally ever seen. How many times did I just say literally? His sprayed edges are hot pink with ballet shoes all the way down the sides. Oh my gosh, I'm literally obsessed. So this is obviously going to be for our 12 Dancing Princesses. This one is just about a ballerina, so that it would be fitting for the movie. This was actually originally written in German. It was published in Germany, and the 12 Dancing Princesses is actually based off of German folklore, and so I thought that was a really cool tie-in as well. The next one I have is Thorn Season by Kira Azar. This one again has some of the prettiest sprayed edges I think I've ever seen. This is the one that I picked out for Barbie, Princess and the Pauper because our main character in this book, she possesses magic, and in this kingdom it is illegal to possess magic. She is having to hide her true identity in the castle, which, if you know anything about Barbie, Princess and the Pauper, our pauper Erica has to pretend to be Annalise and live in the castle and again conceal her identity. So I thought that was a really good tie-in to this book, and I'm really excited about this one. And then last but not least, we have the Paris Match by Kate Claiborne. This one maybe is the most far of a stretch to correspond with the movie, but it's the best that I could do. It's gonna be for our Barbie Fashion Fairy Tale. So what happens in this book is that our main character goes through a breakup and then goes to Paris for a wedding. And I thought it kind of worked for Fashion Fairy Tale because she goes through a breakup, or at least she thinks she does, and she goes to Paris for a fashion exhibit. I just thought the whole Paris thing kind of matched, and then a little bit of a breakup at the beginning and then them finding true love at the end. This is a romance book. And then obviously we are going to watch all 3 Barbie movies at some point this week. Hopefully I'll be able to have time for that. I think I will. I have decided that I want to start with Hold Me, which is our 12 Dancing Princesses book. This book is about our main character Zoe. Zoe is accepted into the New England School of Ballet, but it kind of throws a wrench in her plans because Jace is there. It says he's the boy who knows all of her secrets except one, why she broke off contact with him a year ago. It says that he really isn't thrilled to see Zoe either. He's barely holding it together with parents who refuse to accept his dream of dancing, and now Zoe is here reminding him of everything that he's lost. So they are assigned as dance partners, so we have a little bit of forced proximity, and I'm just excited. It sounds like we have a little bit of a second chance romance. Anything is set in the ballet world, I'm just automatically going to enjoy. This is going to be my first one for the video. I am actually off today. I am just at home doing some admin stuff, honestly I'm doing a lot of filming today, and so I wanted to go ahead and intro this video so I can do some reading in between, and then of course we'll do a lot of reading tonight. That is the plan. I hope you all are excited. I am personally so excited. But without further ado, let's crack into our very first book. Good morning, everyone. It is the next day. I only got about 40 pages read yesterday, but I thought I'd give you my first little update. So, like I mentioned, this book is about Zoe and Jace, and I didn't realize that this was going to be a dual timeline. I thought we were just going to get like a little bit of background on their relationship, but this is actually dual timeline. And this is also going to be dual POV. I haven't actually gotten to Jace's chapter yet, but I was like flipping a few pages ahead. I do that when I read. I don't know why I'm like that, but I do. And I saw that we're gonna get Jace's POV, I think, next chapter. The book starts out with a very interesting scene that hasn't really come around again yet, and so I'm wondering when it's going to. I mean, I'm sure it is because it was the opening scene of the book where Zoe's in high school. This is before she ever got into the New England School of Ballet, which is like a college. She's at a school dance, and her friend comes in, and her friend is like, "You all are never gonna guess this. I got the lead in Sleeping Beauty. I'm gonna be Aurora in our ballet." And Zoe just like breaks down because she had actually already been given the role of Aurora to be the lead in the ballet, but something happened with her friend's mom, and her mom kind of like paid off the director to give her the role instead, and so the role was taken away from Zoe. She like runs out of school, is so upset, or runs out of the dance. She runs back to her house because she lives pretty close to the school, and in her backyard there's a big tree and a tree house that her dad built for when she was little. It's kind of like her place of solace, and I'm imagining the tree house in High School Musical, you know, really upset that she's lost her lead role in the ballet, and Jace shows up, who is actually her brother's best friend. They kind of start their tradition of writing notes to each other, so that's how their relationship starts to progress, is that she doesn't really want to talk about why she's upset, and so he kind of like writes down on a note like what's wrong, and she answers him, and then it goes back and forth for years of them leaving notes in the treehouse for each other, and that's how their relationship starts. So the thing that I don't know if it's going to come back is her friend who got the role instead of her. Her friend is not at her college with her, but I wonder if she's going to show up later in the book. We will see. And then it flashes forward to Zoe's first day of college, moving into the dorms. It's a really small school, and it's all dancers, and she is going to the opening ceremony for the year, and she sees Jace, and we know that she cut off contact with him a year ago, and they haven't spoken for a year. There's like a secret that she's keeping from him as to why she cut off contact with him. This book also has a trigger warning, and it says that there is a full trigger warning in the back, but that it completely spoils the book, and so I didn't read it. I normally don't read trigger warnings, but that makes me think that this book is going to be a little heavier than I thought it was going to be, so we will see. I do appreciate that we're going to get Jace's POV because I love a dual POV in a romance like this, so I'm excited to see his side of the story. And yeah, I am actually heading off to the bookstore today, and we will continue reading in Hold Me. Hello everyone, it is the next day, and I have a little update for you. So I am now on page 128, and we've definitely made some progress in the story. This is turning out to be a lot more serious of a story than I was expecting. I think just from this cover, I was expecting a cutesy ballerina romance, and it is really not like that, which I probably should have realized when they had a trigger warning, but I just wasn't expecting it to be as heavy as it is, so I'm still enjoying it. I'm just having to kind of wrap my brain around that it's a little different than what I expected. So we can tell that Zoe has gone through something that I'm pretty sure I already have figured out, and it has made her have a lot of trauma, and she can't stand to be touched, which makes me feel like I know what happened to her. It hasn't been fully confirmed yet. It becomes a problem because she is in a partnering class. Everyone in the school has to take a pas de deux class. When she is touched by someone, she like has a panic attack, and so it's been really hard for her, and she gets paired with Jace. Her and Jace have a very strange relationship. We don't really know what happened between them. It kind of sounds like Zoe cut off contact with him without any explanation, and so he is really upset with her. And he's also having his own issues because his parents don't want him to dance. They want him to go to a traditional college. They want him to go to Harvard and study either medicine or law, and he is completely against that. And so it turns out that his parents are not going to pay his tuition, and so he has to figure out a way to keep his tuition on scholarship, and so he has to do really, really well in this partnering class. And so he's like, as much as I am mad at you for cutting me off, we have to work together to figure this out. That's kind of where I left off. They just started their first out of class practice session. They're going to try to meet up a few times a week to try to work through it. The biggest issue I'm having with this is that I hate miscommunication in books, and so many books have it, and some I think are worse than others. I just read a really good romance called Racing Hearts, and it had zero miscommunication. Those characters communicated so well, and it was such a pleasant story to read. This one, if Zoe would just tell Jace what happened to her, and Jace would just confront her and be like, hey, why did you cut me off a year ago, and tell her why that affected him so much, because basically she ended up cutting him off at the same time that his parents did, and so he kind of lost everyone in one fell swoop. So if they would just literally sit down and talk about that, they would be able to work through it a lot easier. But I have a feeling it's going to take us a good bit more to actually have them have that conversation. I feel like it's probably going to be the climax of the story. So yeah, it's definitely not a cutesy little ballerina story, which I was hoping for, but that's okay. I still think I'm going to enjoy it. I just have to wrap my head around this being a more serious and emotional story than I was expecting, which is totally fine. So yeah, we will see. I am about a third of the way through. I'm going to try to restructure my brain around it a little bit. This is not a cutesy little story. This is a more serious and emotional story. So that is the update. I will talk to you either later tonight or tomorrow at the store. Hi guys, it is a little later now. I have gotten so much read today, which I'm so grateful for because the story has actually picked up and I'm enjoying it now. I was getting really worried about this story because it was so sad, but it actually has picked up now, and I think I'm going to end up actually enjoying the book, which a third of the way in I was like, this is going to be a 3-star because I am not enjoying myself reading this book, but I finally am. So I think I said I'm on page 300, and Zoe and Jace have talked about the things that they've been keeping secret from each other, and so the miscommunication, or not even miscommunication, just no communication was happening between them. They remedied that a little bit. They're also starting to admit feelings for each other and actually work through them instead of just avoiding them, which has been really nice to read. One thing about this book is that there isn't honestly a ton of ballet content, really more about Zoe and Jace's relationship just being set in a ballet world. So that's one thing that I wish I could get a little bit more of, but I think I'm really starting to care for Zoe and Jace because they've gone through such horrible, horrendous things. Even though that was really depressing to read for the setup, I do think it's coming back to me a little bit because I really am starting to care for them. I want them to be together and I want them to be happy, and they're actually working towards that now, so I'm enjoying it. I only have about 100, I guess like 150, no, 120 pages left, so I have a good feeling that I'm going to finish this tonight because I'm just ready for them to get together and for them to get their happy ending. So good feeling that I'm going to finish this tonight, and then we will start on our next book. I'm thinking I'm going to read The Paris Match next because I just really need a fun, lighthearted book after this one. Even though I think I'm going to end up enjoying this one, it was just a little bit more of an emotional read than I was expecting, so I think The Paris Match will be a good pick for me, and then we'll finish out with the Thorn season. But yes, I'm going to read tonight. I'm probably going to finish this, and then I will talk to you tomorrow. Good night. Hi guys, it is the next day, and I did finish Hold Me last night. I ended up giving this 4 stars, which I'm so happy about because I really thought it was going to be 3 stars. I think I said this last night, but I was just really worried about halfway through because it was just so sad, and I was kind of worried that it was going to be one of those, oh, they learn a lesson type of endings, which I personally do not like, but it ended up being a really good ending. And I have to admit that I think some of the sad parts of the story did make me care about the characters more, which normally I don't feel that way, but this book I think I did, because you just see them go through so much, and I ended up really liking it. Halfway through I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna want to continue the series. I'm gonna have to buy the books because they're so cute and then I won't want to read them, but now I actually do. And when I flipped to the very last page, it actually shows you what the next books are gonna look like, which is so exciting. So these two already have release dates. This one is in June and October. I think this one doesn't have a release date, so I'm guessing it'll be early next year. And yeah, I definitely will continue the series. The next book is going to follow a character that we don't get a ton of scenes with, so I think it's kind of interesting that she decided to choose that character for the next book, because he is not a ballet dancer. In the book, when Jace's family basically cuts him off, he goes to stay with this guy named Easton, and Easton is the male main character of the next book, and then a new ballerina comes to dance at the ballet and somehow they get connected. So that's the premise of the next book, which I'm actually excited to read. 4 stars. It ended up being a very, very emotional story, but the ending was so good and you just really do learn to love the characters. It was a hard read at times because the communication really wasn't there, but once they finally did, then the story became more pleasant to read. Then I finally started enjoying the story. So just know that going in, I do feel like the first, at least third to the first half was pretty slow, but I do think it was worth it, and I think you should read it because it was really sweet. If you're someone who likes those kind of stories, I think you would really like this one. If you're someone who only likes happy-go-lucky stories, maybe you wouldn't, but yeah, I feel like I'm someone who likes happy-go-lucky stories, but even I have to admit, I think this one was done really well and I enjoyed it by the end. So a good little ballerina to start off our Barbie reading vlog. I'm going to reward myself with watching 12 Dancing Princesses tonight, of course, and then we are going to start our next book, which I think I've decided I want to do the Paris match. This one is a contemporary romance, and I have a feeling this one will be a little lighter than Hold Me, and then we'll end off with our fantasy book. So this is the book I picked for Barbie Fashion Fairy Tale. Really the only part of this is that in the movie, Barbie semi goes through a breakup with Ken, and then she goes to Paris, and in this one our main character Layla goes through a divorce and then goes to Paris for a wedding. So yeah, I'm excited about this one. I've seen really good reviews on it. I love this cover so much. It's kind of crazy to say that this is the least pretty cover of the video because Hold Me and Thor Season are just literally perfect, but this one is still so cute and bright, and I love all the spring colors. So this is going to be our next pick. I'm going to read today. I have some editing to do. I just got some boxes delivered of new books that I need to scan in and receive, and that's the update. Yay for a 4-star read. It's crazy that I'm celebrating a 4-star read, but I was really worried it was going to be 3 stars, so happy with 4 stars. So yes, I'm going to get to reading, get to unpacking and working and all that fun stuff, and I'll talk to you later. Read this one and it's so good. Hi guys, it is later. I am home from the bookstore. I went and had my class tonight, and then I'm just taking my shower, wash my hair, and I am getting ready for bed. I'm gonna watch 12 Dancing Princesses tonight. I'm so excited. I wanted to give you my first update on the Paris match. So again, this book is I don't know what it is about these cutesy books having really heavy themes in them. So this book is about Layla and Griffin, and the way that they're all connected, there's a lot of characters in this book. So Layla used to be married to Jamie. They got a divorce. Jamie's little sister Emily is getting married to Michael, and everyone is in Paris for their wedding. Layla has said so many times that the divorce was amicable, but we kind of know that it wasn't really amicable because she has pretty much avoided her in-laws post-divorce. But Emily is a lot younger than Jamie and a lot younger than Layla, and so Layla and Jamie had been together for a really long time when they got divorced, and so Emily was like Layla's little sister, and she decided that she was going to go to Paris and be there for Emily for her wedding because Emily called her and was like, please, I have to have you there at my wedding. And so she has to face all of her in-laws. Jamie is bringing his new girlfriend Samantha, which adds a whole nother layer to the story. We get into the book on the plane. Layla's going from the US to Paris. She is a doctor, and we start out the story and someone is calling over the intercom on the plane that there's a doctor on board. Someone has passed out and they needed medical attention. So Layla goes up to first class and helps this girl who has passed out, and she's totally fine. But while she's helping her, there's like a drunk man also in first class who stands up and starts yelling, and he's like causing a scene. The man behind the girl who needs medical attention also stands up and like yells at him to calm down, basically diffuses the situation. But he's kind of mean to Layla in the process, and he kind of turns his head, and Layla sees that he has scars running all down one side of his face and neck. She basically describes him as like the most beautiful man she's ever seen, a very strong jawline, everything, and then also mentions that he has scars. And she's not really saying like he's handsome in spite of the scars or he's handsome because of the scars. It's really much just like two facts. He's handsome and he has scars. They land in Paris. She gets to the hotel and she greets Emily, and they had this big reunion moment, and she's like, oh, you have to meet Michael, who is her fiance. And he's like, oh yeah, my best man just got here. Turns around, Griffin was the guy from the plane with the scars. We pretty much immediately get his point of view. Something very big happened in Griffin's past that we don't know about, and it caused him to have these scars and for him to be in a lot of chronic pain. Like, he talks constantly about being in pain, and we don't know what happened to cause that. That's the part of this book where I'm like, again, we're getting into a book where one of the characters has like really bad trauma, and I'm just like, what is up with these cutesy little covers having such emotional stories in them? But again, we'll get through it. I just have to kind of rewire my brain. I would say the writing in this one is like a little bit lighter than Hold Me, because the way that Layla is interacting with her family is just kind of funny because she's so awkward, doesn't know how to interact with them anymore because she's not technically family with them anymore, all of the in-laws. And then Rosie, who is Emily's best friend and her maid of honor, is hilarious. She's like this quirky, insane girl who says the most ridiculous things, and so it's bringing a little bit of levity to the story, which I appreciate. But then we get into Griffin's POV, and he's like constantly in pain, and he seems to have a lot of mental distress too, like very upset and just very, I don't know, I'm still trying to get a read on Griffin. But Layla, Emily, and Rosie go out to dinner on their first night there, and they have a great conversation. Anytime it like ever comes up about Jamie, Layla redirects the conversation. She's like, we're good, we're divorced, but you know, it was amicable. I'm here for you. I'm totally fine that he's bringing his new girlfriend. Like, we are good. I'm here for you. And she thinks that they have a good conversation, and then the next morning she wakes up to Griffin pounding on her door being like, you have to come with me. Something you said last night at dinner with Emily has caused her to have cold feet and potentially not want to go through with the marriage. And Layla's racking her brain being like, what did I say? Like, I was so careful to not say anything bad about Jamie or anything like that. So like, what could have happened? And it turns out that Layla made a comment about how she is a hospitalist now, but she was going to be a surgeon, and she ended up changing residencies so that she could stay in Boston with Jamie. Emily and Michael, after they get married, are moving to Germany for Michael's job. And so Emily was like, why am I moving to Germany for this man? Like, am I throwing away my dreams to just up in my life for him, because they've only been together for 10 months. They've been together for a year yet. It sparked something in Emily where she was like, I don't know if this is right. Maybe we're moving too fast. I don't know what to do. Throughout it, she was like, I love Michael and I know that he's the one. I just don't know how to deal with these feelings that I'm feeling. So she basically says she's going to go through with the week. She just wants to spend more time with her and Michael and kind of work through things. And she doesn't want anyone to know but Griffin and Layla. And so Griffin and Layla kind of team up together to support Emily and Michael throughout this week so that they can get through the wedding. All Griffin wants in life is for Michael to be happy and for Michael to get Emily, because he thinks that he's really good for her, and we don't really know why. Like, their dynamic is a little strange because they both seem to care a lot about each other, care about each other's happiness. We don't really know their past yet, so there's a lot of layers to the story that I just learned in the first like 100 pages. So that is the first update. Again, a little more serious than I thought it was going to be, but that's okay. Hopefully it'll end up good. It's a romance book, so I'm sure it will, but it's just funny that 2 books back to back have had such bright cartoony covers and have been very emotional. Really, only thing that we know right now is that Griffin has, I don't know if they've said burn scars, but that's kind of how they're describing them, as burn scars. And then he obviously has some sort of chronic pain, maybe from the scars. We don't really know yet. He also low-key seems to be a little bit of a mess emotionally. But I'm going to take my mind off of this book for now. I'm going to get ready for bed and I'm going to watch 12 Dancing Princesses. I'm so excited. And then I'll probably read a little bit more before I go to bed after I finish the movie. And then I'm back at the bookstore tomorrow, so I'll see you tomorrow at the store. Hi guys, it is the next day and I am a little further into Paris Match. I think I'm about halfway done and I feel like I understand the characters a little more now, but there's still a big secret that I feel like, or a big piece of information that I feel like we're missing. Everybody is starting to come in for the wedding and the only people that know that they're having issues are Layla and Griffin, who are our 2 main characters, and then obviously the bride and groom. And so Layla's just really trying to support Emily while also trying to not make it about her, because it's the first time that she's seeing her ex-family-in-law in a while. People keep making comments about it. Her ex Jamie brought his new girlfriend and she like ends up throwing up on the boat and Layla has to take care of her. You can tell Layla is trying so hard to be pleasant and she's trying not to make it about her. She wants to focus on Emily and make sure that the wedding goes as planned, and so her and Griffin kind of team up to try to support them while Michael and Emily talk more and try to work through their issues before the actual wedding date. There is a lot of tension between Michael's parents and Griffin, and they've been friends since they were in elementary school, and so there's definitely something there that's wrong. And then we just really don't know what happened to Griffin. We don't know why he's in so much pain and why he has all of his scars. Layla, Griffin, Michael, and Emily come to the hotel lobby and Michael's parents are there and it's their first time seeing everyone, and it's very tense and very obviously tense between Michael's parents and Griffin. And so Layla kind of jumps in and saves him from having to go to dinner with them, and she's like, okay, I'm going to take Griffin out to dinner. That's where I left off. They're about to go to dinner. I hope we get a little more information about Griffin because I still don't know what happened to him, and it's kind of driving me crazy that I don't know what happened to him, and I feel like I'm literally in the same situation as I was in Hold Me. I just feel like both of these plot lines are so similar. Like, traumatic things have happened to the main characters and they're gonna come together and like work through it. I have a lot of books being delivered today that I'm gonna have to unpack and receive. We also have an event tonight that I'm excited for. We're doing one of our craft events. Let me show you what we're making. So we're making these little book vases. This was my practice one. Isn't that so cute? I think people are really excited about it. So that's the plan for today. Reading, receiving, reliving. I was trying to think of another R word, but I couldn't. It's 6 o'clock. I am heading home. I got to page 300 in the Paris match, and so I only have about 100 pages left. I think I'll probably finish it tonight. I'm like really getting to the point where I want everything to just work out. I feel like we've taken a step back from the wedding in terms of the plot. I feel like we're more so focusing on Layla and Griffin's relationship and them spending time with each other. And they're still, I feel like, both keeping secrets from each other. We still don't know what happened to Griffin and why he has the scars and why he's in so much pain. And we still don't know the real reason as to why Layla got a divorce. And so I can feel that we're getting there, because we also got a little bit of a clue that the secret with Griffin has to do with Michael, and it's a secret that Michael is also keeping from Emily, and that might be part of the issues that they're having with each other. And so I feel like we're getting there and we're about to figure out what happened, but I just like want to know really badly. So I really think I'm going to finish it tonight, and then we can start our next book, and then of course watch Barbie Fashion Fairy Tale. I'm so excited to watch a Barbie movie and get out of this like really sad, deep stuff. I really hope the Thorn season is a little more lighthearted, because I feel like both of these books have just had very heavy themes to them, and I've enjoyed them, but I think it's just been not what I expected. So I feel like I've also said that a gazillion times, so I apologize that I'm repeating myself. But needless to say, I'm very excited to watch a Barbie movie with a happy ending, especially a happy go to Paris kind of movie. The writing in the Paris match is very interesting. It's very metaphorical, and sometimes to the point where I have to reread what I just read to figure out what they're actually saying. She's definitely an author that uses really, really long kind of run-on sentences with a bunch of commas and different parts to the sentence. I don't know, I can tell that she's a very gifted writer in that way, because of the way she can string stories together and like string these sentences together. But as a reader, I feel like it's kind of hard to read sometimes. I almost forgot what the point of the sentence was by the time I finished the sentence, because I'm like, wait, where did we start out? What are you trying to say right now? So I don't know, it's very interesting. I just want to know what's going on. I need the information that is being kept from us. So that's why I think I'm going to finish it tonight, because I'm just ready to find out and see what happens. That is the update. I am headed home. I have a workout to do. I have some pasta to make for dinner. I'm gonna read, and I'm gonna watch Barbie Fashion Fairy Tale, which sounds like a great night to me. So I'll either talk to you later tonight or tomorrow once I finish the book and give you my final thoughts. Good morning, everyone. It is the next day, and I have finished the Paris match. I am heading to the bookstore later today, so I have a little bit of time this morning to start on our next book, but I wanted to give you my final thoughts on the Paris match. I'm struggling a little bit with the rating, because I really can't decide how I feel about this book. I feel like it's somewhere in between a 3 and a 4. Final thoughts. I think maybe the secrets that were being kept that we find out towards the end of the book, like the plot twist or the climax, it was maybe a little less satisfying than what I was expecting it to be, because we find out of why Griffin has his scars and his chronic pain, and I was expecting it to have a reason, and it really didn't. It was something really sad and terrible that happened to him, and he had to work through that. And he does by the end, and him and Layla can be together, but I don't know. It kind of threw me off with his relationships with Michael's parents, and maybe I needed that explored more in this book. They made a really big deal of, this might be a slight spoiler, so I'm gonna give you a little timestamp to jump to if you don't want any spoilers at all for this book. I'm not going to say what happened to him, but I'm just gonna say what didn't happen to him, so just skip ahead if you don't want to hear this. They made a really big deal about Michael's dad being a military man. They also mentioned that Michael was in the military, and I believe that's why him and Emily have to move to Germany, is because of his job with the military, maybe? That might not be right. I'm kind of forgetting why they have to move to Germany. But we also know that Michael's parents despise Griffin, and they like act awful towards him, and because of that I knew the secret had to involve Michael somehow, but I was just really convinced that something happened in the military. Like, I just knew that Griffin was gonna be like a war veteran, and that's how he got hurt and injured, and he wasn't. And because I was so convinced that that was going to happen, what did happen was really just more of a random act, not a random act of violence because it wasn't intentional towards him, something really tragic that just happened and they don't know why, and that was it. And so I think I wanted something a little more from that secret, this thing that happens, and they never explained why it happened. Like, it was really just a random tragedy. I'm aware that random tragedies happen in the world, but I feel like normally in books they tie in with the story a little better, and I just didn't feel like this one did. I did enjoy this book. I enjoyed our two main characters. I really enjoyed that we got both of their POVs. I just love a romance book where you get both sides of it, and so we really got to see what each one of them was thinking, especially in Griffin's point of view. I did like the ending, and I felt like Layla was very vindicated in her ending with her ex-husband, and then she got to have this budding new romance with Griffin. I felt like the whole Michael and Emily plotline wrapped up really well and didn't just like throw away everything that they had worked for in the story. So yeah, I did enjoy this, but it just wasn't what I was expecting it to be. I still would recommend it. I think you just really need to go in knowing that this is an emotional love story, and both characters have really hard things that they have to work through. If you like emotional romances with like a lot of like grit and depth, I think you would really enjoy this one. If you are kind of like me and you like a little bit more of a fluffy romance, I don't know if you would like this one or not, honestly. That was the Paris match. I will of course be watching Barbie Fashion Fairy Tale tonight to round out that Barbie character. And then next up we are going to start Thorn Season by Kira Azar. So this book is a YA fantasy. I tried to read this last November and I ended up soft DNFing it because I knew I was going to come back to it. While I was reading this, I was really wanting to start on Christmas books because I was reading this at the very end of November, and I could feel myself rushing through this and like not enjoying myself because I was just trying to get through this quickly so I could get to my Christmas books. And so I was like, you know what? We're gonna wait because I really want to like this story and I want to give it more of a chance than I'm giving it right now. So soft DNF'd it in November, picking it up now, and I'm really excited. This is, I think, maybe the prettiest book I own. It is just beautiful. So I feel like I've talked about this book so many times, but it's just so pretty. So it has the rose gold cover, the prettiest sprayed edges you have literally ever seen in your life. It opens up to a scene that looks like a garden that matches with the sprayed edges. The outside of the book is this embossed kind of like silvery cream color, and then it has a rose gold design on top of it. And then even the inside flap of the first page is just so pretty. It is like a pink fairy tale dream, and I just think it's literally the prettiest book I've ever seen in my life. So this is the book that we're reading. I have chosen this for Princess and the Pauper because the main premise of this book, our main character's name is, what is her name? Our main character's name is Alissa. She lives in a kingdom where it is illegal to possess magic. And there's this group of people called the Hunters, and they basically go and execute anyone who has magic. And it's something that you're born with. If you are a wielder and you have kids, your kids are also wielders. But a long time ago, the king decided that he didn't want any wielders in his kingdom, and so it is illegal to be a wielder. And if you were living in this kingdom as a wielder, you could be executed by the Hunters. And so there are wielders living in this kingdom, but they all have to hide their magic. Lady Alissa is one. She is one of the high ladies of this kingdom, of one of the provinces of this kingdom. And so she is supposed to be going to the castle for her 18th season, which is called the Rose season. During the Rose season, when you come of age, you have to live in the castle. And it's basically like an entrance into society. It's almost like a debutante ball, but it lasts a full season, like a debutante season. You basically just network with the nobles of the kingdom. This specific season, the King Eric has decided that he is going to take a wife, and so it's kind of changed up this season a little bit, where all the ladies who are joining court for Rose season are kind of vying to be his wife. And Lady Alissa has decided that she is not going to Rose season because she really can't risk being a wielder in the castle surrounded by non-wielders and the king who is sanctioning these huntings. However, something happens that we don't know about yet, and it forces her to join court for Rose season. So now she's in the midst of all these people and she has to hide her magic. The magic system is really cool, and I only know this because of the I think I read like 50 pages or so before I DNF'd it last time, but their magic is called a specter, and they describe it as kind of like a tendril of power that lives inside them and can extend from them. It's completely invisible, but it can move things, and so she can use it to like flip a coin in the air, or she can use it to trip someone, or she can use it to pick a lock. And so it's a really interesting magic system where it almost acts as like a really malleable limb almost. So it's cool. I've never read a magic system like this before. I'm just gonna start from the beginning and read those 50 pages that I did read again, just so I make sure that I'm not missing anything, but that's what I know so far going in. I chose this for the Barbie movie Princess and the Pauper because in the movie our pauper Erica has to go to the castle and pretend to be Princess Annalise because Princess Annalise is kidnapped and they can't let anyone know that she's missing, so she has to go to court to pretend to be something that she's not. So it's kind of matching. I was really proud of that connection. So yes, that is the Rose season. I'm getting really confused because this is Thorn season. I'm getting confused because Thorn Queen, which is the sequel to Rose Bargain, comes out this week, and so I keep talking about it, and trying to keep these two straight is going to be an issue. For this video, if I say anything involving Thorn, Rose, Season, or Queen, I'm talking about this book, but I just know I'm going to end up saying the wrong thing at one point because the titles are way too close together and I'm thinking about them way too close together. So just know I'm talking about this book. Apologies if I say the wrong name. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. I really hope I like it. It has good reviews. I think it has like just under a 4-star average on Goodreads. I thought I might be burnt out on YA fantasy because of all the ones that I read last month for my Winx Club vlog, but I just love a fantasy. I love a YA fantasy, and I'm just ready to get into this one. So I'm gonna read for a little bit right now, and then I'm gonna head to the bookstore and we are going to start Thorn season. We have made it to the bookstore and have a little bit of an update for you. I got to about page 100. I'm on page 96. I'm getting close to where I stopped last time. We know from the inside flaps that there are 3 men in the story, and I'm kind of seeing that it's actually not going to be a love would that be a love square? There are just like 3 men involved in her life right now. So we have Garret, Keel, and Eric. Garret is her childhood best friend who was adopted by the Capewells, which is her family. I think I might have mentioned this morning, but they're not really close anymore because he has become a hunter. He was like forced to take an oath to become a hunter, and he tries to protect her, but I don't know. I don't think he's going to be a love interest. I think they're like maybe setting it up that way, but he is killing wielders, which is what Alissa is. Even if he doesn't want to kill her, like he wants to protect her, he's still doing that. Eric is the king, is taking a bride this season, and he has his sights set on Alissa, but he is the king who hates wielders and who is sanctioning these huntings. Then we have Keel, who is our new character. He ends up kidnapping Alissa, but not in a bad way. He ends up kidnapping Alissa for leverage against her father because he has family members that have been captured by hunters. They're all wielders. He uses Alissa as leverage to get his wielder family out of the hunter prison. I think Keel is going to be our love interest, and I'm really loving it because even though he kidnaps Alissa, he doesn't hurt her, and he like constantly apologizes to her and like is trying to take care. She cut her hand on a piece of glass during the whole fight, and he's like trying to heal her and all this stuff. So I think he's gonna be our love interest. Keel just released Alissa into Garret's protection. Garret takes her back to his headquarters at the hunter household. He tells her that there is this device called the compass. It points the hunters to wielders, and it's a spell made object, which is a spellmaker is different from a wielder. It's a very, I feel like I'm having to explain a lot, but there's just a lot of layers going on to the story. So the hunters have always used the compass to find wielders in the kingdom. However, a few years ago it was stolen. They have been relying on information from other people to find wielders to kill. We find out that Alissa's father has actually been helping them to keep them away from Alissa. Alissa is obviously like devastated. Her and her father are very, very close. Mother was a wielder, and so Alissa freaks out. Garret basically is like, I need you to go and join court so that you can help us find the person who stole the compass, because there are a bunch of wielders who are being killed by what they're calling the copycats. So there's some sort of group who is using the compass to find wielders to kill it, and they're like doing these unsanctioned killings of wielders. So Alissa decides she's going to join court. She's going to help Garret find the compass, and she's supposed to give the compass to Garret, but she's like, absolutely not. I'm keeping the compass for myself, and we're going to figure out a way to stop these huntings. So that's where we're at. A lot has happened in the first 100 pages, and that honestly might have been why I DNF'd it the last time, because there is so much setup and so much background to the world and all these different like power plays happening, and I don't think I was in the right frame of mind to read it, but I am in it now, and I think having that little bit of background of reading a few pages last time has helped me. So I'm definitely in it. I'm definitely involved in the story. I'm excited. I really like Keel. I know he kidnapped Alissa, but it wasn't a bad kidnapping. And it's also not like a dark romance kidnapping either. It was literally just he needed her as leverage to get his family out of the hold that the hunters had them in. I just really like him. He seems sweet and funny. There is one more thing I need to tell you. This season at court, Alissa and all the girls her age, they have invited an Ansoran ambassador to join court for the season to try to help political relationships. So Ansoran is another country in this world, and it is home to wielders. So their queen is a wielder. It's safe and free to wield in Ansora. Alissa is really excited to see the Ansoran ambassador because she hopes he or she is a wielder. I think they said it was a he. I think it's going to end up being Keel. I think Keel is our Ansoran ambassador, and he had to come and like do all this underground work to get his family out of the hunter's hold. I think that's what's gonna happen, because we already know that Keel is a wielder and he wields very freely, and so I feel like it makes sense that he's the ambassador. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll find out that soon. Someone came to the store, so I had to stop it abruptly, but that's the update. I'm going to continue reading. I feel like I'm going to get through this book really quickly. Not my phone. Yes, I think I'm going to get through this book really quickly. I don't have a delivery coming today, so I'm really just going to be reading and then editing. I need to start editing this video, and then I have a video going up on my main channel this week. So yeah, I might end up reading a good amount today. I will check in with you when I have another update. Hi guys, it is the end of the day. I am here with my second update before I head out. I am on page 228, so I think I'm pretty much halfway through. A good amount has happened that I don't know if I can tell you about without spoiling it. One thing I have to say, there are so many characters in this book. It really would benefit from a character chart because I keep getting confused on who is who and what province they're from and why they even matter to the story. Alissa had that fight with her father because she found out that he was helping the hunters find other wielders to kill to keep her safe. They just had their reunion and kind of like making up session, and they hadn't talked since she had gone to the castle, so that is resolved a little bit. What has mostly been happening is that she is currently trying to find the copycat killers. The one clue that she had was that a certain key from the castle was found next to the body where the compass was stolen, so she has been going through and trying to figure out which door the key opens, and it opens to a certain chamber that her friend Carmen is staying in, but at the time it would have belonged to her mother. Her mother was exiled from court because I think she might have killed her husband. Alissa finds shipping documents in Carmen's room that she thinks might belong to her mother, so she thinks maybe her mother is doing this and she has been traveling around. I think that's the only theory we have right now about the copycats. Certain things keep happening in the castle that I feel like have more to do with the politics within the castle, and I don't know what all is going to be important or not, and I don't really know how to explain it to you without giving you a full rundown of every single character in this book, and I just don't know if that would be very helpful because there is quite literally a gazillion characters in this book. So I am enjoying it. I can see why I didn't it the last time because you definitely have to be in a certain frame of mind to read this book. You have to really want to go into a story that has a lot of plot development and a lot of character development, and like you kind of need to have your brain turned on for this book. It's definitely not like a mindless easy read. We keep having scenes with Keel and I just really like him. He's definitely the romance interest. However, Eric, who is the king, is definitely courting Alissa, and she is thinking that she is going to marry him so that she can keep her father safe when she does find the compass. She thinks she can either influence or manipulate Eric into maybe stopping the huntings of the wielders. So even though she's starting to have feelings for Keel, she is still pursuing a marriage with Eric so that she could be queen and she could do all that stuff. So that is where we're at in the story. I am off to teach a workout class and then I will be home and reading some more tonight, and I will update you then. I am really enjoying it. My mind is really having to work, which I like. I like really complex plots, and yeah, I'm just enjoying it so much more than I thought I was going to, which is good because I feel like both of the books this video I've enjoyed less than I thought I would. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. My brain is working, which is always great. And yeah, I'll talk to you tonight. Hi guys, I'm back from my workout class. I'm about to start getting ready for the night. Don't mind that I already have my PJs on. I like to change out of my workout clothes as soon as I get home because I don't like staying in them. For some reason, I pulled this out instead of just like a lounge outfit, but we're in PJs. I have one more update for you for the night before I read some more before I go to bed. We have had something big happen in the story. It's a pretty big spoiler if I tell you. So we have had something big happen in the story and it has kind of rocked Alissa's world, and she is kind of becoming a very chaotic main character, and the best that I can describe it, she's kind of acting like the characters in the early 2010s dystopian books like Shatter Me, Divergent. Something big happens in the main character's life and she kind of goes crazy there for a second. I always think about when Juliet shaved her head in Shatter Me. I was like, girl, what are you doing? I read that and I was like, no, she didn't. She actually did not just do that. And then I feel like that happens with Beatrice in Divergent too, after she has to kill her friend. That's the best way that I can describe it, is that something really sad and bad happened to Alissa. She's kind of off her rocker right now. She's not sleeping. She's becoming really paranoid. She kind of lost her one lead on the copycat killers, and that is also really affecting her because now she's suspicious of everyone, and she's kind of pushing the people close to her away a little bit because she feels like she can't trust anyone. She's just kind of losing it right now, and I'm kind of ready for her to stop doing that because it's making it really hard to read. It's one of those moments where you just want to like reach into the story and be like, girl, take a second, grieve what just happened to you, and sleep for a little bit and you'll feel a lot better. So I'm hoping we get through this somewhat quickly because I'm just not loving what's happening right now. I feel like we will. I have a theory that I can't tell you. Or can I? I guess I can, because I don't know if this is true or not. Okay, I'm going to tell you my theory, and then I won't tell you at the end of the book whether my theory was correct or not. You'll just have to read to find out. My theory is that Eric already knows that Alissa is a wielder. Just kind of based on the way that he acts around her. I won't tell you at the end of the book if that was correct or not, but that's my theory. Like I mentioned earlier today, the other thing that's kind of throwing me off about the story is that there are just so many characters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to create a character chart for you and put it in the description of this video. And I think that'll help you if you decide to read this book, just to kind of keep everything straight, because that's probably the biggest thing that I've been struggling with, is trying to remember who each character is and what their tie is to Alissa and what their political stance is and all that stuff. As well as I can, I'm going to try to do that for you. I might not hit every single character because there are quite literally so many, but at least the big players that I feel like are important to the story, I'm going to try to create one for you. That's all for the update, I think. I'm going to actually get ready for bed and like take my shower and put, I guess, a different pair of pajamas on. Read a little bit tonight, and I'll talk to you in the morning and see if I finish it tonight or maybe tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. It is the next day and I am almost done with Thorn season. I just have about 100 pages left. I'm on page 345. I am really enjoying it. Like I mentioned yesterday, there was a little point in the middle that got a little hard to read because Alissa was just really going through it and really not processing things very well, and so she was kind of becoming this like chaotic main character, and you just want to shake her and be like, girl, oh, I can't say that. No, that's a spoiler. Nope, just kidding, I can't say that. You just want to shake her and be like, you need to not be doing what you're doing right now. However, we have moved past that, definitely building up to a certain climax between Keel and Eric, and that has come to a head. I'm just like, thank you. This is going where I want it to go. But I am a little worried that that big scene has happened and I have 100 pages left. So I don't know what in the world is going to go on between now and the end of the book. I just feel like a lot is going to happen. So we will see, but I am enjoying it again. I feel like this has been such an interesting book of like really enjoying it, really not enjoying it. Now I'm back to liking where the story is going. It's been a ride, but I am excited to see what happens until the end of the book. So I'm just going to read and finish this today, and then I will update you by the end of it and let you know what I think. But yeah, I think at least at this point I know that I'm going to be excited for the next book. The next book is called Sharpest Court, and it releases at the end of this year, so that I'm assuming we'll have the next book at the end of next year. So we will see. I'm excited. I'm not going to look up what the Sharpest Court is about yet because I have a feeling that's going to spoil the end of this book, but yeah, literally only have that much left, and I'll definitely finish it today and then I'll come back with my final thoughts. But yeah, I'm just so happy that it's coming back around the way I want it to, and the plot is kind of developing like I want it to. Good update. Hopefully we have a good ending. Okay guys, I have finished Thorn season. We are done with our third and final book of the video. I am giving this either a 4.25 or a 4.5 stars, so a really high rating, which I'm so happy about. This was definitely my favorite book of the video. The ending was crazy. We had a lot happen in the last 100 pages of the book, which I had a feeling we would. I did get an answer to my theory, which I won't tell you if I was correct or not, but I did get an answer to that. The ending was just really good. I feel like we wrapped up a lot of characters' storylines really well. Plus, I felt like we set up Alissa for the next book really well. I'm so excited to read the next book. I'm so happy that it is just later this year and not next year, because I'm really excited to see where the story goes. I just really enjoyed this book. I feel like I've already talked about the 2 reasons why this book wasn't a 5-star. I don't want to keep harping on it, but basically it was that point in the middle of the book where Alissa went a little crazy on us. That part kind of got to me, and then the whole so many characters with so much going on. I feel like they did so much background setup in this book that I could see this being even longer than a trilogy. I think it's a planned trilogy. It's definitely more than a duology, but there was just so many different aspects of the plot going on at once that sometimes I got a little confused, because I felt like one tiny thing that they mentioned in the beginning of the book would kind of tie in to a random scene in the middle of the book. You really had to pay attention with this one and kind of keep a list of all the things that people said and did and who they were to Alissa and who they were in the political sphere of the world. And it was a very intricate storyline and a very intricate environment for the book to be set in, which is not a bad thing at all. I just think that a character chart would have really benefited the book. Sometimes you just need a little refresher on who that certain person was and why they mattered to the story. I'm gonna make my own character chart and put it in the description box of this video for you all, because you all should definitely read this. I just loved it, and it's just the prettiest book in the whole world. Definitely read this one. I feel like now is a good time to read it, so you don't have to wait too long for the second one to come out. And yes, definitely recommend this one. And a perfect end to our Barbie themed reading vlog. Of course I'm gonna watch Princess and the Pauper tonight. I've had so much fun watching these Barbie movies. I rewatch old Barbie movies a lot. I would say, like, I don't know, maybe one every other month, one every 3 months. To watch all 3 in 1 week has just been so much fun. I feel like it's reinvigorated my love for the OG Barbie movies, especially Fashion and Fairy Tale. I feel like that isn't one that I gravitate towards to watch very frequently, and I just love that one. That scene with her and Ken at the end is so cute. Yes, obviously gonna watch Princess and the Pauper tonight to round out our Barbie themed week. And that is going to be it for today's video. I have so many more ideas for themed reading vlogs that I'm so excited to film for you all. I wish I could get them up a little faster, but it really does take me so long to film and then to edit these. I normally end up with about 4 hours of footage that I edit down to 1 hour, and it just takes me a long time. So I think I'll probably end up having one of these a month for you all, with other videos sprinkled in. You all had really good ideas on my Wings Club video on how to expand on that video and do other Wings Club characters and maybe the Tricks characters. So if you all have any other ideas for me, please let me know, because you all had such good ones last time. There are so many things you can do with the Barbie world, so I'll definitely do another Barbie themed video at some point. Thank you all so much for watching. If you made it to the end, I really appreciate you, because I know this is going to be such a long video. But yes, I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye!